Well, we got our puppies about 5 months ago, and they're 8 months old now. And we haven't done a good job giving updates, but things have been going really well. The girls had gotten in a good routine of letting them out in the morning, spending time with them, letting them run around, feeding them, and all had been going well.
Until a couple weeks ago.
When it was their evening feeding and running around time, and Adeline came running in the house, just horrified, and we're like, what is wrong? And she said, the puppies ran into the cornfield.
Yeah. And if you don't know anything about a cornfield in August, it's over 9 feet tall. And once you get inside it, you don't know what direction is what, especially if you're a little dog.
Right, but I mean, I think dogs have a good sense of like smell.
Well, you would think that.
Okay, so the puppies ran into the cornfield. I thought they're dogs. They'll find their way back out. Like they have natural instincts and everything. And so for about a half hour, we're all going up and down the line of the cornfield where they went in.
The kids were calling for him, we were calling for him, and you and I went into the cornfield a little ways. We didn't let the kids go in because they would have got lost. But.
Yeah, but again, I just thought, like, they're dogs. They can smell so strongly, like, they can find their way back, right? And so I'm like, guys, it's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna work out. And then it's like getting to be 45 minutes and then an hour. And I'm like, oh, for crying out loud, like, where are these puppies and why haven't they come back out yet? And then out of nowhere, Maisie came running out of the field.
Yeah, the chocolate lab came out.
So she has always been, like, these two puppies were not from the same litter. And so they're very different. Maisie is like very energetic and just loves to run around. She's a little bit more like lean and
taller.
Yeah. And how would you describe Mac?
Mac's like, he's kind of just a thick, shorter, I'm just here to have fun, guys. And if I go in the cornfield, I mean, I'm just gonna see where it takes me. I mean, I don't know where I'm going, but I'll just keep going. But
he doesn't like to, it doesn't seem like he likes to exert any more energy than necessary. So I would have thought he would have been the first one to come back out.
Well, that's where we were like, well, maybe he's probably in the middle of the cornfield and just decided to just lay down for a while because he's like, I'm tired. It's cool in here. I'm just gonna chill.
Right. So by this point, it's like 8 o'clock at night. It's starting to get a little bit darker out, and we're like, all right, kids, you have to go to bed. We'll keep looking and keep an eye out for them. For sure, he's gonna come back. So then it's 9 o'clock, and Tom and I are like, let's go out again, call his name, walk around the field.
I messaged all the neighbors and said, hey, if you see this cute little black lab, he's just gonna want to lay on his back and get scratched. But no one saw him.
And so still at this point, I wasn't too worried because, like, I mean, we grew up in the country with labs. Once in a while, they would take off and then they would come back, or a neighbor would call and be like, hey, your dog's at our house. Or I was like, it's gonna work out, guys. Like, it's gonna be okay. And then Tom's like, what did you say? Like, oh, well, could he defend himself against a coyote or something? And I'm like,
well, I know that we have coyotes around us. Like,
yeah, and I was like, no, he could not defend. He would just lay down and just like be like, I want to be friends with you, right?
Maybe he would, and maybe he would just turn into a ferocious dog. I don't know.
I don't know. So then we go to bed, and all I could think about all night is I'm like, no, he could not defend himself. Like, what? And
it was a full moon.
I know. At first, I'm like, oh, good, it's a full moon. He'll be able to see his way home. And then I'm like, oh no, the coyotes are gonna be out. No. So I didn't sleep at all. You got up at like 3:30.
I got up at 3:30 and went and walked the edge of the cornfield in the middle of the night.
And I was just like, darn it. I did not think I'd gotten that attached to these puppies. Like, the girls been taking care of them, the kids' dogs, like whatever. And I'm like, oh man. And
I have refused to get attached to an animal because I'm like, something's gonna happen to it.
Well, do you want to share? Then this came out. I did not know this about your childhood, or do you not want to share?
We had a Cocker Spaniel when I was a kid.
What was his name?
Named Butterscotch. And that dog, we had 80 acres growing up. If I yelled his name a couple times, you just gave him a minute or two, and he would come up from way back. Like, he didn't matter. You yell his name, he'd come running. And then he just like disappeared one day after like a decade of owning him. I think it was we were gone at church or something and came home and he just was gone permanently.
And you never saw him again?
Never saw him again.
And he was your buddy?
He was just the coolest little dog.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's why Tom didn't want dogs again.
I was just like, it's no reason to have a dog.
And so then now Tom's like, now it's happening again. He was like, I was trying not to get attached to the dogs. I got attached to Mac because he's so stinking cute and sweet and lovable.
And he's just chill. He's not crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't jump on you. And so I'm like, okay, now I get it more why you didn't want to get dogs. But I'm like,
too late.
Here we are, right? So no one slept that night. We get up in the morning, we go back out to the field, we're calling his name, like.
And then we're thinking, okay, we'll go around to the neighbors again, but we need to give it time. Like, it was like early.
It was
like,
7 o'clock,
like,
so we're like, we can't go to neighbors
too
on
early
a Saturday
in the morning.
Yeah, right. So we're like, okay, like maybe like 8:30, we can start going to the neighbors' houses.
Yep.
Then.
It was still 7 something.
It was 7:30.
Yeah.
When our neighbor drove in.
Yep. Older neighbor to the north.
Yep.
Drove in, was like, you got a little black lab?
Yep.
Yep, we sure do. He's like, oh, he's been in my place all night.
Trying to get into the garage.
Yep.
Yep. So we went down and we got him and we got back home and we're like, okay, so what are we going to do now so that this doesn't happen again?
That was a long story just to get to here.
Yeah. We had talked a little bit about getting an invisible fence and I was like, that just seems so silly. We're in the country. I don't know. Growing up, we never needed things like that for our dogs.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to go through the expense and the effort. And it's like, when your puppy's missing, you're like, what do we got to do? We will do anything. And so we were already looking at the electric fences. Or the invisible fences.
Like, the other thing we had thought was, can you put an invisible fence on like 5 acres of land? Like, can you do that? Because that's roughly what our yard is about 5 acres. And we're like, can you invisible fence that much? Turns out you can.
So we ordered it that same day.
Yep.
Then, so we'll tell you like the prices of everything. We ordered it off Amazon and then you had to order an extra roll of wire so that it would do 5 acres.
Yep.
We planned out like what the area would be that we would put it around.
Yep. Google has a Google acreage calculator. You can satellite image your property and you can draw out like any kind of shape and it'll tell you like what the acreage is, but then it'll also give you like the perimeter length. So that's kind of how we ballpark the length.
Right. So we ordered it, we got it, and then it started raining in Minnesota, which it hadn't rained all summer.
4 inches of rain.
It's just like for multiple days. So we're like, okay, now we can't put it in right now.
Yep.
And then Mac decided to go, both of the dogs went off into the cornfield again. And it was like the exact same replay. About a half hour later, Maisie comes back out. And we're like, Maisie, where's Mac? And then I was like, that stinking dog. So Maggie and I went walking down our road and yep, he went the same route again.
I wasn't even worried the second time. I'm like, he's going to go for the road.
Yeah.
He's going to somehow get in a track on the corn and just run down the road to the corn.
Yep.
Or to the road.
So about 45 minutes later, he emerged and we got him and brought him back home.
Yep.
So finally then the rain cleared out and so yesterday Tom was able to start putting in the invisible fence. And so needless to say, you don't really want to hand dig that much. So what was it that you rented? We rented
I'm going to call it a trencher. I think it was actually an edger, like for putting in landscape edging. It just cut like a 1 inch wide slot 3 inches into the ground. And it actually worked really well.
It went pretty quick.
That part went really quick. But yeah. So I trenched the whole perimeter. All right, so we've got all this done. I want to lay the wire in the trench from where we started to here so that then when I cut across the driveway, I can lay the wire in the driveway so that if we have deliveries or if Dawn has to come and go or whatever, that them driving over the trench doesn't cave it in. So we're gonna go back and we'll lay the wire to here, cut across and lay it in and then keep going.
Is that a lot of work?
If you had like a place in town, this would be super easy.
Yeah.
And it is easy. I mean, it's but it's not quick. I mean, it's quicker.
Right.
It's all relative, basically. Like whatever you're judging it on. But yeah, 5 acres is a lot. When I told the guy at the rental store that I was going to do 5 acres, he was like, 5 acres? I'm like, yep. It cut through the driveway pretty well too. Our driveway is gravel and crushed, like recycled asphalt millings. And so it cut through that actually really well. And left a really good channel for the entire invisible fence wire.
So that probably took about an hour, the actual trenching. What took the longest?
Maybe like
hour and a half.
Maybe like an hour and a half. I got pretty tired pulling that thing around because you pull the machine backwards as it cuts so that it's cleaning out anyway. But what took like the entire day and then some was laying the wire in the little channel trench and backfilling like section. I started off backfilling the entire thing as I went, making sure the wire was deep down and the channel was backfilled correctly. So I did the half the yard across the driveway, and then I stood up and I was like, I have no skin on my knees. Like no skin on my knees. My legs are like jello from all the up, down. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Then the second half, I had the kids come and help backfill. And even them, they were all afternoon yesterday, we were backfilling and running the wire.
So it ended up being a full day of rental or ish. Yep. So how much did that cost?
Yeah, so they charged me for a day rental rate, which was $120 for the machine.
But that was worth it.
Yeah, then when I didn't tell you this, when I dropped it off, I told him that the biggest pain was putting the wire in. He's like, oh yeah, they make these machines that will actually feed the wire and backfill it for you. I'm like, well, that would be something.
Huh, interesting. Yeah. Good to know. And
he didn't have that machine.
Okay, well that's good at least. And we decided to run it from what's going to be our office building. Mm-hmm. And so you started over there and finished over there.
All right, so now I need to feed this wire up into the building because right now the building's still unfinished. It's just got the spray foam in it, but this will be the utility room. So we did it here instead of the house because this is just like the closest path that the invisible fence wire I'll run to a building is right here. Mm-hmm. So we figure we'll put it in here. So now I need to dig so I can bury the line here, and then with the spray foam I'd like to tuck it up in there, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it. And then try and drill a hole down the end and see if I can fish it through there. Because I need to fish these two lines in, and then I need to fish a ground in, and the ground will just get buried to a metal pipe down into the ground here. Okay. So that'll ground the whole system. Okay. So that's what I gotta do now.
Thank you. Yeah. And then you were actually supposed to lay out the system first and test it.
Correct.
Before you get it all trenched in.
Correct. But I don't do anything the way that it's supposed to be done.
So so then you thought you had ordered enough wire to do the whole perimeter. Mm-hmm.
I got about 150 feet left and ran out of wire. I don't know. When I was like halfway through, I looked at the spool and I'm like,
oh, it's gonna be close.
I don't know that there's enough wire. So we got some more wire.
Yep.
And then I spliced it together. Oh, I can't pull it out now. I am much weaker than yesterday for sure.
Yeah. So is this pretty basic wiring?
Yep, it sure is.
So the wire that runs to the building is different because it's meant not to give off a signal to the callers.
Oh.
Okay. Well, you know.
Whatever. Maybe the dogs don't run through here, they go around. I don't care. And then finished it.
And you hooked it up and?
It actually works.
Tom came in and he was like, I'm so surprised that it actually worked.
It worked. I went all around and checked all the edges.
Yeah.
It works. As far as everything else, how I set the collars, you program both collars to the system and set it. It works everywhere. So we've got a 5-acre invisible fence.
If we would have known how easy, I mean, granted, it was like a full day and a half of your life, but it was like, I think anybody could do this.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Like if you've been thinking about this.
If I can do it, anybody can.
No, I was saying, I think if we would have known how easy it was, I think we would have just put it in as soon as we got the puppies.
And having, knowing you can rent a landscape edger and it will do what you want. Yeah, for sure. And
so I think if we would have been a little more organized, you probably could have rented it for 2 hours and just brought it back and. So if you had a smaller yard, you could probably rent it for like an hour or two and it wouldn't be that expensive.
Yeah, and your system itself would be cheaper too because you wouldn't need the couple thousand feet of wire.
Mm-hmm. And we went with the heavy dutiest wire, being in Minnesota where there's like a lot of variation in the temperatures, freezing and thawing. You can even get lighter weight systems too if you're in a...
I am wondering if this is going to work in the wintertime when there's like a foot of snow over
I'm glad you asked that. I researched about that.
Oh.
It does work. It depends how much snow you get. It said like up to 2 feet of snow. It should work fine. But it said you might want to retrain your dogs with it when you start getting snow just to refresh their memory of where the boundary is. So that's the other thing. So now we need to train our dogs with this. So you put the white flags in so they can see. We did. Yep. And then you said it's a 3-week process?
It is a 3-week training process, yeah.
And you do it individually with each dog is what we're learning.
Yep, so that they learn what the deal is. Like the flags are a visual thing, so as they're learning, it beeps. And so you want them to learn that the visual of the flags and the beeping is kind of like, hey, don't go any further.
We're definitely not worried about Mac running through it. Maisie, hopefully not, because that's the fear is that if a dog learns that they can run through it, then it's done. So now that's what we'll be doing is working on training them now that it's installed, and they've been really quick learners and just super chill. I know, like we joked about it when we first got them, like I had heard if you get 2 puppies, that they wear out their energy on each other and that I think
it's the temperament of the dogs.
It could be, but they're chill, and it's been a really good experience so far. So far.
The other thing that I told the kids, so the kids have randomly left their bikes where the dogs can get to, and then I'm like, okay, you're gonna lose your seats and your handlebars if you keep doing that. So now the kids have, we've trained the kids. Yeah. We've trained the kids to keep the bikes out of the dogs area. It's now with the dogs having the whole yard. Now everything needs to get put away, which I love, but that means the kids have to do it.
Yeah.
So otherwise there'll be no seats and no handlebars on any bike.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember that growing up. Did your dog shoot things? I remember like,
one bike of mine.
My tennis shoe.
No, we never had we never left shoes out. I had one bike that the seat got eaten off of and the handlebars. And that's all it took.
Yeah.
That one bike, and I never left a thing out again.
See, we'd go down to the trampoline, you'd wear shoes down to the trampoline, you'd take them off, and then you'd just run back up to the house and you'd forget, and then you see your shoe all over the yard.
See, we didn't have a trampoline until we were older and just never left our stuff out anyway.
You guys are such good kids.
Oh, shush. I had to buy my bike though too. I think that's probably why.
Totally.
It really bummed me out because I bought this cool bike.
Yeah.
And then this stinking dogs chewed all the rubber off it.
Yeah. I'd love to know, like, what things have your dogs chewed up? Like, I'd be curious. Oh, that was always such a bummer. Yeah. But, so hopefully we'll get them trained in and there will be no adventures into the cornfield. Or the road. It's just the time of year, even if it be after harvest, we could see him, or whatever. It was just like the right time of year where it's like he knew. Yeah.
Well, and Kona never did that. Kona, I think when Kona was bigger, Kona was our yellow lab. When she was bigger, she would run off into the corn just like for somewhere cool to go, but she'd pop right back out.
If you called her name, she came back. Yeah. So I don't know. We're hoping as these two get older, they'll
come when we call them.
I don't know. Yeah, so we're gonna work on that this weekend, working on the training some more. But we have had so much fun getting to do home visits, and you saw Rachel's house the last couple weeks. Coming up next week, we're gonna show you Jackie's house. There's a really fun surprise at the end of next week's video. It was cool. So we went to Jackie and Jesse's house, and it just went really well, and I'm excited to share it with you. I'm learning something new at every house that we go to, and it's just been really cool. So we hope that you're enjoying those videos too. If you live in the Twin Cities area and you want to sign up, we'll put that link down below as well. But it's been really cool, so we're gonna look forward to sharing more of those videos with you coming up the next couple Fridays too. Yeah. Other than that, we'll have to start getting ready for fall around here. I can't believe it's Labor Day weekend and all of that. So
I can't either.
I know, right?
I have a lot to do outside yet.
Yeah, so I don't even know. We don't really have much for plans this weekend, so probably just really work on getting stuff buttoned up around here for fall. So, but we'd love to know what you're up to if you get to do anything fun. But otherwise, we love you and we hope that you have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.